Hey, and welcome to another Chicago Beer Pass beer review. We're diving into the cellar on this cold Tuesday. We got some stouts.
Fuck yeah, we do, Brad.
We got from Spiteful, we got 2 G.F.Y stouts, one with coffee.
Yeah. The good folks at Spiteful are sitting, in Bowmanville, next door to
Half Acre.
Half Acre. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I picked up these cans, I want to say around, I think it was Blackout Wednesday. So
Okay.
I've been sitting on a few cans for a little while. These were both packaged 1120 and 1116. So, but they're stouts, so not too bad here in the bottle, right? Or in the can.
Yeah. I think Spiteful is one of my favorite crews, man, because they they made the jump from underground, if you will, to professional.
Yeah.
In a major way, probably in the biggest way. I think 18th Street and Spiteful probably made that jump the largest jump, right?
All right, so I'm gonna start with regular, and Nick's starting with coffee.
Yeah. I gotta learn how to pour.
He's got a big pour, and he's starting with the coffee one. So rather than starting regular stout,
Yeah.
he's like going. He needed coffee.
And this is our post game, to be fair, right? We just recorded this week's episode of Beer Pass. But I remember Jason and Brad from the underground days, from the Juan Kim days, and Chicago's underground scene was so serious that you even Ryan Burke, who's now over at Angry Orchard. They built an entire experimental farm essentially for him.
Oh,
He started as an underground home brewer, and they were this culture of music and homebrew, right? Would throw these house parties, and Spiteful was one of those crews. Oh, and then while they were getting the name Spiteful, and then this is all just drunk history, but I want to say the name Spiteful, they were getting everything cleared through the TTB, and so they wouldn't show up to these parties as Spiteful. They would show up to these parties as G.F.Y.
Okay.
Right, and then in the very first, they made their debut at Fobab in 2012. And the first beer they debuted to the world was a barrel-aged version of G.F.Y. Stout.
Nice.
And it was we didn't have a ticket to Fobab,
So we had to have a beer.
so we launched our brewery at Fobab. I always thought that was so dope.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. The stout, typical stout color, but it's very it has a lot of ruby kind of hues to it, so it doesn't seem incredibly thick. It's not like a motor oil thick stout, but it's black. It's dark.
Because we know how heavy stouts can get and dense they can get in this town.
And then you got the coffee one, but you do get a lot of almost cinnamon or just there's something spicy kind of underneath the flavors here.
Yeah, I like how it's it's like the mouthfeel of a cola. It's oddly it's oddly warm and inviting and almost refreshing.
Even look at the bubbles. They look like what you might see on a Coke or Pepsi can. They kind of just the carbonation is there for soda a little bit. Not that it's overly carbonated or anything. It just has that mouthfeel. It's weird.
Yeah, I dig that approach. Not every stout has to be decadent and dessert forward, right?
Right.
Sometimes you want a dark beer that's good and not overwhelming, that has higher drinkability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this comes in at it's 8%, so I want to say it's low on the stout, but up there on the alcohol level.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like it doesn't have a porter mouthfeel, but it's closer, right?
It's closer to a porter than a lot of other stouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than some of your big stouts. So the coffee, it uses Metropolis coffee, as many Metropolitan brews do as well. We've been talking about them a lot because of their 10-year anniversary party.
Yeah. And it's almost like the coffee's kind of because it's a stout, right? And it's not a hoppy stout, but the coffee's kind of playing the role of the hop, if that makes sense, right?
Okay.
With the bitterness, right? It's bitter coffee presence with very little sugar, right? Just like coffee essence, like with like untampered coffee.
Yeah.
You know.
And now I don't love hanging on to some of these coffee stouts because that coffee does fall out. That's the bad part about these coffee stouts. But I do feel like this has the cold brew kind of taste of the coffee.
Yes, cold brew.
It's like
cold brew.
it's still there, or like that extract of the coffee. It doesn't taste like we poured coffee in this and now it's all gone, and we have. I know people say like that burnt ant taste.
Yeah, or like you know, when the black IPAs when they didn't do them the way you liked them, and it was kind of like almost like, you know, like someone's cigarette, someone's secondhand smoke, their ashes flew in my face. It's not like that. The what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because sometimes the coffee stouts, they kind of have like the they got that Tootsie Roll effect. You know?
Tootsie Roll, okay.
Yeah, but this one's more like streamlined black coffee.
Yeah,
that I'm getting that. Like the cold brews are actually really good description. Yeah.
It's hard. They're both very similar. Like the coffee just adds a little bit more, and it makes it maybe a little. The mouth feels like a touch thinner than the stout because I think it's just the coffee is adding to that. It doesn't take away from the alcohol at all. They both say 8%. I'm sure it's minimal if it does.
Yeah, they're not afraid to ride the line of roast.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a big. Sorry. This is a big roasty stout. Yeah.
Wow, I dig it. And I'm digging that Spiteful continues to do these multiple can offerings. They did it with the God Damn Pigeon Porters. We drank all those on a beer review, so check out that video. And then they just came out with another set that I am...
Oh, not the Porter's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, there was another one that just came out in the past week or couple weeks. I saw it at Binny's. I saw them talking about it on Twitter. So they continue to do these releases, these variety 4-packs. I believe you could have got the G.F.Ys as variety 2-packs or singles each if you wanted to, or even 4-packs. So they're realizing like, hey, we like brewing beer. So let's just brew a lot of different stuff. And people have now embraced that even more than they did when they first started or when Pipeworks started, and so
cool. I think they are part of that like band of brothers, that whole Pipeworks, 18th Street, Spiteful, you know, trilogy where they all just kind of got their start. They all learned from each other. They all partied together. And I spent New Year's Eve one year. After New Year's Eve, I think I slid over to the Spiteful location, shaking his head at me.
He's a wild man. He rolls through New Year's at a beer fest and like, you know what? Give me another one.
Like, you know what? I could be wrong here, but I think Spiteful's like, you know, a mile away. So we're gonna go check those boys out, man. And you know, and then I've had their stuff at the United Center too, because I know they're down with like I want to say Breakthrough Beverage.
Okay.
So you get a chance to have their stuff at Bulls and Haas games. You know, I just love that option next to Half Acre. You know, we're starting to come into our own as we have come into our own as a city. Yeah. And the reason we do that is because we got layers like this crew. Yeah. Where it's like, hey, we're just making beer for Chicago and burbs, and that's the end of it. So come get it.
And I love hanging out at the Spiteful Tap Room in the summer. Although the Half Acre one is great because they have like legit outdoor, but I like that indoor-outdoor feel that Spiteful has. Like I can be inside, but I'm outside.
I agree with that. I think, you're right. I think, and on a Sunday night, you know, I'm probably like maybe 3 miles north of the tap room, and then I'll go on a Sunday. It's like, all right, cool, we're having Sunday dinner. What do we get? I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna get the dog, hop in the car. I'm gonna drive to Spiteful and maybe get like, you know, it's a Caliente stout.
I like that you're like, I'm gonna get the dog, like
because that's my guy. I love our dog.
But like most people are like, I'm gonna take the dog for a walk and get this. Not me and the dog are getting in the car and we're driving somewhere.
Me and the dog are gonna double park on this residential street in Bowmanville and pick up some goddamn Spiteful for dinner, man. That's what we're gonna do. You know, and then
so you could get in like the carpool lane too. It's like I got him.
Yeah. But yeah, Nice alternative on the stouts that we've been having lately. Yeah. It's easy to just go overwhelming on the stout, but just to have a stout with a lighter body, a little more focus on like a nice bitterness, we need that. We need that layer.
And so is this a once a year release from Spiteful? Like, does this stout come out at the end of the year every year, or do they do this all year?
That's a good question, man. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. We need to go over there, Brad.
We will go over there. So maybe if you're watching this now, we may have already been, or keep a lookout for it. Like, look for it on the channel. We're going to be talking to, Jason over there, maybe Brad.
We can't forget
possibly Claudia.
Claudia's there. We can't forget about Calvin.
Calvin, yeah.
The whole gang.
Yeah, so we're going to find out. Yeah, so my question is GFY all year round? Because I tend to only see it in these end of the year months. Mm-hmm. But that's just, I'm not often looking for a stout in June.
Yeah.
But it might be there.
I remember one time, one of the few times that I had like a sponsorship, right, was with this frozen pizza company.
Home Run Inn?
No. They're from Wisconsin. They make these big crazy pizzas. Oh, but anyway, they gave me like all these coupons for frozen pizza. Okay. Screaming Sicilian.
I remember them they were at the Soldier Field beer event.
Yeah, and so I'm like, well, I got to do a beer and pizza pairing. Like, what do I do? And I don't know. I got a forbidden root beer.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, well, shit, I got a Spiteful. I think I got a Spiteful, the one with the diamonds on it.
Okay.
One of the IPAs.
Nice.
But I was super happy to get down with some Spiteful for the beer and pizza pairing, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. Nice. So if you see these GFY stouts, pick them up. If you can get both of them, it's a fun back-to-back. I would almost lean towards the regular. If I'm going to have one, I'm going to go regular stout. Like, I think it's just...
I think you might be right. You keep saying, why do we have both of these? They came in a 2-pack? What's going on here?
When I was there on Blackout Wednesday, I ran into Claudia.
Yeah.
She gave me some. So I believe you could buy them as 2-packs or 4-packs, 2 of each or something like that. On. So I ended up with a can of each. So
nice.
I believe you could have also purchased this. I just happened to have. Nick's going coffee. You going coffee as your winner then?
I might go. Yeah, I am going coffee.
Okay.
I'm going coffee.
All right. I'm going to have a little
further
more
review. I'm going coffee.
A little more regular. And yeah, like we said, look for our interview with Spiteful coming up.
That's me. I'm the bear right now.
Oh. And hit that subscribe button. New episodes going up all the time. And we'll be back soon. Take care.
Cheers.